CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Stacey Lynn. Thousands of No Kings protests were held across the country yesterday, rallying against President Trump. Over 200,000 people were at the Minnesota Capitol in St. Paul, along with Senator Bernie Sanders.
Minnesota showed the American people, and in fact the world, what democracy is about, what grassroots activism is about, and what standing up for the American ideals of freedom and justice is about.
Earlier this year, 2 Americans were killed by ICE agents during protests against the Trump administration's immigration operation in Minneapolis. Meanwhile, a Homeland Security funding bill has not been passed, and now Congress is on vacay. A very stressful situation, says Dallas TSA officer and union official Johnny Jones.
My blood pressure's up. I can't sleep at night because I'm worried about everybody. This is a ridiculous scenario, and these politicians have failed us.
President Trump signed an executive order for some TSA workers to finally start getting paid again as early as this week. But more than 500 officers already quit, and airports are still struggling with extra long lines and hours of wait time. Iran is threatening to target American universities in the Middle East in retaliation for an alleged strike on a university in Tehran. Sebastian Usher with CBS News partner the BBC is in Jerusalem.
There are American universities dotted around the Middle East, in Cairo, in Beirut, etc. I mean, these are very long-standing, very prominent institutions for the whole of the Arab world. I mean, some of the most prominent politicians, intellectuals, artists, everyone really has attended those universities.
Ukrainian President Zelensky is offering advanced anti-drone technology to Gulf countries to help counter Iranian threats. In return, Ukraine is seeking critical air defense support, especially missiles, as it faces shortages while continuing its war with Russia. Have you filed your taxes yet? Here's CBS's Michael Wallace.
A new Adobe poll finds 26% of Americans are using AI tools like ChatGPT to file their tax returns this year, up 11% from last year. But experts warn the technology can deliver outdated or inaccurate guidance. IRS.gov and other government websites aren't always updated with the latest tax rules and deductions. And some chatbots may not be aware of the tax changes in the One Big Beautiful Bill Act.
And some experts do say if you need help understanding complicated tax concepts, that's where AI is great. This is CBS News.
It's one of the most successful law and justice programs in television history that continues to uncover the truth. 48 Hours, Saturday on CBS and streaming on Paramount.
Jen, I didn't know you shopped here.
Hey, I'm hunting for something fresh for spring.
Oh, girl, skip them all. Jewelry Television has the best spring looks right now.
JTV, way ahead of you. Just hit up JTV.com yesterday. Scored the cutest clover earrings, 2 tennis bracelets, and this gorgeous pearl ring.
Right now, new customers get $20 off any purchase of $99 or more at JTV.com.
Oh, and gold hoops and this turquoise bracelet.
Just a couple things, huh?
Maybe more than a couple.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolade spells powerful relief. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Some quick action by a firefighter.
It was a fire call that probably saved his life. North Carolina volunteer fireman Brandon Tucker was helping to put out a brush fire when he collapsed. He had suffered one of the deadliest kinds of heart attacks. A fellow fireman ran to a truck and grabbed a portable heart defibrillator. That saved Tucker's life.
The only reason why I'm here, because of that helmet, but more importantly, because of that AD that we had. Doctor said without that, I'd be gone.
The 32-year-old volunteer fireman is a computer engineer and father of 4. Jim Crisula, CBS News, Thomasville, North Carolina.
Hall of Famer Mickey Mantle is still the biggest moneymaker in sports memorabilia history. According to Heritage Auctions, the baseball legends brought in more than $162 million over the past 50 years. That includes over 16,000 collectibles like cards, bats, and autographs. Coming in second, fellow Yankee great Babe Ruth. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred roofing replacement contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings a cloudy but warmer second half of the weekend with a high of 60, and those clouds stick around for tonight too, preventing temperatures from dropping all that much. Look for a low of 51, then cloudy and warmer tomorrow with a shower or two, the high 65. The warmth peaks on Tuesday with a mix of clouds and sun with a high of 78. For AccuWeather, I'm LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
The following is an editorial by KDKA Radio Senior Vice President Market Manager Michael Spacciapoli.
The Giant Eagle Feed the Need Radiothon produced an amazing result on Tuesday for the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank. In the 7th year of the simultaneous fundraiser on all 5 Odyssey Pittsburgh stations, sponsors and listeners outdid themselves again, donating the funds to purchase 331,000 meals, 70,000 more meals than last year. As Brian Goulash, the Food Bank's VP of Marketing and Communications, said, our neighbors always step up. Neighbors helping neighbors. That's what we do. We're the city of champions. Goulash also said the generosity of the community never ceases to amaze him, and it never ceases to amaze us. Thank you for helping us multiply from one year to the next, a community response to food insecurity.
This has been an editorial by KDKA Radio Senior Vice President Market Manager Michael Spacciapoli. To view a transcript, go to kdkaradio.com.
Rob Fracks on the voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020, KDKA.
All right, we begin, and I say this to the people of Russia. If it happens, your supposed leader asked for it. Let me explain as we begin page 1 Sunday morning with your Pratt Pack. European allies are publicly and privately telling American diplomats that Russia is directly and materially helping Iran's war efforts beyond what the U.S. will publicly acknowledge. This according to sources from CBS News. The Europeans also continuing to argue that the war in Ukraine is the largest land war in Europe since World War II, is intertwined with the war in Iran due to the cooperation between Russia and Iran. So, to the people of Russia, highly unlikely you'll ever hear this message, but you better find a way to remove Vladimir Putin from office. He is going to take all of you down with him. He will fight until there is no breath left in his body. And sadly, he will not worry one bit up until that final breath how many people of Russia go with him. This is going on too long. It started when he sent 120,000 troops into Ukraine and started murdering innocent Ukrainian people. They have continued to bravely fight back. Their man, Volodymyr Zelensky, has been on the world stage, been a proponent of asking for help to stop this madman in Russia. And you understand why he is helping Iran. The oil, he needs it for his war machine. That's why more now than ever, and yes, Iran getting help from unwanted visitors and people who have nothing but contempt for the rest of the world, including the U.S., is sealing their fate as well, too. If there was any chance for this war to come to an end, even in a truce agreement as opposed to an unconditional surrender, that has left the building. And as far as any sort of diplomatic peace talk with Russia and Ukraine, that is getting very close to the end, too. Why? Because of Volodymyr Zelensky's pleas of stop, 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 going unnoticed and unanswered because of the cold, calculated killer that Vladimir Putin is. Let's face it, he is a killer. He may hide behind his so-called prowess as being the president of Russia, but in his mind, he is nothing more than a dictator. To him, it's the hammer and sickle of the USSR, an old KGB agent who simply cannot let go. So now, more than ever, we as the United States must do everything in our power to end the war in Iran, get an unconditional truce, unconditional surrender, and find a way to stop the war in Ukraine and remove Vladimir Putin from office. It has to happen. It has to happen. There is no way that this thing can go on any longer. It must end. That's right. This war in Iran must end with an unconditional surrender. And as far as the possibility, and from all indications to CBS News, Russia is helping and adding material to the war in Iran. Why? As I mentioned, oil. Without it, they have no chance of stability or any chance to continue their war in Ukraine. And here's what everybody is missing. He will not stop when he wins, if he does, in Ukraine and gets to the Black Sea ports in which he can control all of the commerce. He will partner up and he will find people to continue to march into country after country after country, because he is well aware the only way he continues to remain as president is by an all-out effort to continue to the war that has been, yes, told by many and witnessed by many as the largest war of this type in Europe since the end of World War II. Vladimir Putin, in my opinion, has sealed his fate on the world stage. And now with this help of Iran, which we all knew, and yes, helping others help Iran in the field of combat, unwanted guests who are nothing but terrorists and people that want to do the rest of the world, including the United States, harm, he is bankrolling all of it. He is supporting all of it. He is putting all of Russia's technology into it. For the most part, even though it's not Russian soldiers, he is fighting in another location on the world stage. He is basically pushing the buttons. He is the person behind the curtain who is probably fueling this war going on in Iran. Because if you look at Iran, they have nothing left. They have no army. They have no navy. They have no air force. They are down to just a few drones and missiles. And the curtain is coming down. Where has all of this new life come from? It's come from Russia. And I knew exactly what Iran was doing, not only trying to cut off the supply of oil to places like the United States, but when they blocked the Straits of Hormuz, they also knew that people like Russia, their long partner, would have to step in and give them help and the ability to fight on to live another day, because they need the oil more than ever so they can continue to fight on in Ukraine. If the oil is stopped, and it will be if our country takes over the Straits of Hormuz and ends the war in Iran with an unconditional surrender, there will be no more supply of oil. So now more than ever, we have to understand we are fighting on two fronts, not just in Iran, but we are fighting to stop Vladimir Putin. And if the people of Russia are smart, they will do everything to see that he exits that office of the presidency soon, because it may be too late if he sticks around much longer. All right, hard-hitting stuff to begin, because I'm very frustrated, very, very frustrated. I'm frustrated in the lack of patriotism in this country. I'm frustrated in the lack of support for our military, and I'm frustrated for the lack of people understanding that this is the biggest story around. And yesterday, we're going to talk more after the break about these No Kings protests. All of the people, and yes, tear gas was used in California because it got out of hand, but all of these people from one side of the country to the next who've been pouring into the streets and doing this over and over, and it's not affecting anything, and it's not removing that president who will be there until the end of his term, we should be focusing on what really matters now more than ever, our national security. We are under siege. And mark my word, as you heard in the CBS radio news at the top of the hour, targeting American universities in Iran because of one of theirs being targeted, it won't be long before they will have sleeper cells and others coming to awake in the United States of America and causing terrorism here. And if they need extra help and money, they go right to Russia, because Russia is indebted to them for that oil. Wake up, America. We are at war. And this is one war that we have to win outright. Because if not, Vladimir Putin will continue to pick our pocket for generations to come, and he will remain in power. And as I said moments ago, if the good people of Russia understand what's going on, now's the time to put in a new regime before whatever you're hanging on to is lost. As always, you can listen to us at 100.1 FM, AM 1020 KDKA, or on the Odyssey app. and that is AUDACY, but you can also watch us online with our KDK video stream presented by Metropolitan Window Company. Just go to KDKRadio.com and click on Watch KDK Radio Livestream, or now you can just go to our KDK Radio YouTube page to watch everything we are doing in the studio. Time to open the phone lines, 866-391-1020, or you can reach me, NASCO Roofing, Instant Access to our shows. Just a click away. Email us at instantaccesskdkradio.com. And don't forget, do you know someone in your community who has done something extraordinary in the past year? Nominate them now, KDKRadio.com, to be honored at this year's Larry's Hometown Heroes event.
Your source for official traffic information. Hear it on News Radio KDKA.
News Radio KDKA Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition with 8 locations to serve you. Another tough day for the Pirates in the Big Apple. They lose in 11, 4-2 the final. They wrap it up at Citi Field today. 141st pitch, 93-7 the Fan. College postseason basketball action. Illinois over Iowa, 71-59. Arizona beat Purdue, 79-64. And today, first game, 2:15, tips off Tennessee, Michigan, and then Duke, UConn. Pens lose to Dallas, final 6-3. And through 3 rounds of the Houston Open, Gary Woodland had a third-round 65. He's at 18 under with a 1-shot lead. And the Riverhounds, their season home opener at Highmark Stadium, they beat Jacksonville yesterday 3-2. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensate for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The KDKA radio text line is driven by Kenny Ross Auto Group. Find your best deal and Pittsburgh's best warranty at kennyross.com.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
The 50,000-watt voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
You know, these No King protests, listen, it's futile. It's not doing anybody any good. And it's basically making us look bad on the world stage. And why did I lead with the biggest story today that is the epic fury, the war? Because that is the biggest story. You have to understand, we are in a global economy now, okay? We all want to believe made in America is better. Make in America, buy American, all of that stuff, the bumper stickers. We've all been there, done that. Yeah, you have to find a way to generate revenue by doing things in America. But what you also have to understand, you have to bring corporations from around the world and do a deal to where you're building a plant there and they're building a plant here. And there is no way any Fortune 500 company is going to want to invest billions of dollars in this country, hire American workers, and expect them to do a job when they can't even agree with who the president of the United States is. Look, you may not want to believe politics has anything to do with any of this stuff, but it has everything to do. We can't spend every waking moment in this country bad-mouthing a particular politician. That's why you never hear me go after any particular local politician like every single day. You hear me play both sides of the fence because you have to. Some days are good days, some days are bad days. But in the end, that's the person who's running the county, who's running the city. You have to understand diplomacy. You have to give and take. We don't have that in America anymore. And by having these protests, which are mainly led by Democrats, which I happen to be one, you're sending a message around the world that who in the world would want to do business in the United States of America? Who would want to do it? I'll be honest with you. I find it hard to believe that anybody would want to do business in America. And, you know, it's a miracle to think that the Wall Street numbers have been as good as they have been. With everything that's happening, it's still been not a slippery slope as everybody thought, and we would simply spiral out of control. That hasn't happened. It levels off. It goes up. It goes down. It stays level. We're okay. America is really good right now, and we have a chance to change the course of history by cutting the head of the snake off in Iran, basically getting the free-flowing oil around the world, especially to the Iranian people, keep it out of the hands of the evil empire that is Russia with Vladimir Putin, not the Russian people. Same with the Chinese people, not them, it's the government. The greed, and greed will bring you down all the time. And it's going to bring Vladimir Putin down. Listen, he has survived to fight another day. It's gone on from one generation to the next. It's got to end. And for the Russian people, if he doesn't get out of office, there will be nothing left. Nothing left. That's what frustrates me so much. So I'm in the home office yesterday reading some news and trying to get caught up and getting ready to do it all again today. And I keep hearing all of this No Kings protest, and they're showing these drone shots of the thousands of people, you know, as far as the eye could see, and then the tear gas and things getting out of hand in California. And I'm like, we are wasting so much energy. You realize these protests are for naught. They mean nothing. Vladimir Putin would have never let it happen, and we saw what happened when people were protesting in Iran. But in the United States of America, the free nation that we are, we have the right to do it. And even in these so-called peaceful protests, tear gas has to be used because people get full of themselves. And if a certain number of things go bad, they cling to that and they pound on it and pound on it and pound on it. Do you realize if as many of you who have been out doing these No Kings protests, I mean, as far as the eye can see, from one side of the country to the next, well-organized, over the top, if you would have formed some sort of group, committee, to try to not get Donald Trump elected, he would have never got elected because you folks actually have a voice. But you're using that voice for all the wrong reasons now. Please understand, we need to come together as a nation. We need to show the rest of the world that we are the most powerful free nation in the world. And no one is going to kick sand in our face. Vladimir Putin is making a mockery out of us. That's why this is the top story across the board today. I knew when the Houthis got involved, I knew it was Russia. I knew sooner or later because of the oil, that free-flowing gift from Iran that has been backing the war. Do you understand? The oil that Iran has been giving Russia is killing Ukrainian people. Do you understand, as opposed to us giving billions of dollars in equipment and all the aid and everything we've done for years that people have said enough is enough? If we would have done this to Iran years ago, when we had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, but no, we simply sent them a check to, well, leave us alone. Please don't do anything to us. Here's money. Do what you want to do. If we would have stopped them years ago, there would have been no war in Ukraine because they wouldn't have been able to get the oil because America would have said, if you go into Ukraine, nothing for you. Because we were spending $50+ million a day on natural gas and coal. Unbelievable. We have all this natural gas in our country and we're just sitting idle and watching it basically stay there. We should have had 2 more petrochemical plants. We should have had drilling sites dotting the entire landscape of Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and Ohio. The money should have been pouring in. No. Because once again, America just can't get out of its own way. Look, Donald Trump's going to come and he's going to go. But even if it's a Democrat, You'll have people on the Republican side arguing. We'll have demonstrations across the country saying they're too left, they've got to go, and they don't care about this, they don't care about that. And if it's a J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio, it's going to be the same business as usual for the next 4 years after that. And what's going to happen? We're going to keep chipping away, and that global economy is going to drift away because we're not going to utilize the most important commodity that we have. Natural gas. We're not going to use it. And we will not have that rich opportunity to take that $30-some trillion debt and throw it out the window. We're just going to let the next generation hang on to it. And because we're simply going to say it's not our problem, why are we worried about it? Let the next generation worry about it. I got to tell you something right now. The greatest generation who won World War II, which they are saying this is the biggest war Ukraine and Europe since World War II. They won World War II. If you could bring the majority of them back because very few are left, if they could see what has happened to this country just in the last 10 years and witness what they were watching yesterday, can you imagine if we were at war in Europe and people were having no king's protest and not wanting FDR in office, not wanting Harry Truman in office? Do you understand what we would look like? Do you understand what would have happened? We would have lost the war. You're distracting. You're taking away. Right now, we are at war in Iran. Our military is fighting and dying to preserve the freedom of Iran and to stop the dictatorship of the Iranian regime that has been murdering and killing people since 1979. Imagine if our country would have thought the same way when Hitler was doing his dastardly deeds with the Third Reich in Nazi Germany. What in the world? They murdered 35,000 people of their own. 35,000. And if I hear it's 6 or it's 5 or it's 10, come on. 1 is too many. But we in this country have the right to protest and do whatever. But that's okay. I get it. But my goodness, don't you understand right now we should be rallying around our flag? It has not anything to do with you being a Republican or a Democrat. It has everything with you being an American. So why is it that we are so divided? Why is it that we simply sit back? Do you realize I could say, how many of you were with me about stopping Russia from doing what they're doing? You could care less. I bet I wouldn't even get one comment because people don't care. Because they don't think it affects them in their little corner of the world. Well, believe me, if we don't find a way to stop the war in Ukraine, and if somehow, some way we get on the wrong side of this thing in Iran and it goes in the wrong direction, everybody will pile on the president. Once again, we'll see our government, basically the foundation, crumble in front of our very eyes. And who knows what will happen next. Listen, if we don't figure our act out, somebody will overtake us without firing a single bullet or dropping a single bomb. That's how important what I'm talking to you about is. Wake up, America. You have every right to protest. But remember, you're protesting against the President of the United States of America, the Commander-in-Chief. And I'm speaking to those of you in Pittsburgh who protested. And we are at war right now in Iran. We are in war right now in Iran. 866-391-1020. 866-391-1020. We're going to take some calls on the other side. Love to hear from you. Jump on board. Only a half hour left in Open Talk today. Then we roll into all of our Pittsburgh Works programming. That'll take us until 1 o'clock this afternoon. Rob Pratt Sunday off to a dramatic start. You have to have an opinion. If you're an American, you do. 866-391-1020. We'll be back.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
When you're handling an estate or an inherited home, the decisions can feel overwhelming. At Home Buyers of Pittsburgh, we help families through this every single week. We make a quick, fair cash offer on the home, coordinate any cleanouts, help you through the process, and we'll buy it in its current condition. No pressure, no surprises. Visit homebuyersoftpittsburgh.com or call 412-500-9057 for help selling today. That's 500-9057 for help selling today.
Homebuyers of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's local trusted homebuyer since 2015.
My friends at NASCO Roofing take pride in exceeding customer expectations. Stephanie from Murraysville used NASCO for minor roof repairs. When a storm created substantial roof damage, she called NASCO. NASCO worked with Stephanie's insurance company and installed a beautiful brand new roof. NASCO has satisfied thousands like Stephanie. Get NASCO on your roof. Call NASCO Roofing, 412-373-2000, 412-373-2000. Most jobs done in a day. Special financing available. NASCO Roofing, NASCO.
Y108 presents Odyssey the Night Before, powered by Bowser Chevrolet, starring Jason Aldean.
Hey, what's up, Pittsburgh? I'm Jason Aldean.
With special guests John Morgan and Shane Prophet. Wednesday, April 22nd, inside the Event Center at Rivers Casino, Pittsburgh.
So we have a little bit of fun. Y'all ready?
You can't buy a ticket to this show. You can only win your way in. Full details at y108.com. Presented by Miller Lite and brought to you by your local AAA travel office, Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, Ross Park Mall, and Broken Bow Records.
From the Aetna Medicare Studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
CBS News Brief. Senator Bernie Sanders spoke at a huge No Kings rally yesterday.
Minnesota showed the American people and the world what standing up for the American ideals of freedom and justice is about.
TSA agent and union officer Johnny Jones is frustrated with the partial government shutdown.
My blood pressure's up. I can't sleep at night because I'm worried about everybody. This is a ridiculous scenario, and these politicians have failed us.
The president says paychecks should resume as soon as this week. Iran is threatening to target American universities in the Middle East in retaliation for strikes on Iranian education institutions. The BBC's Sebastian Usher is in Jerusalem.
Politicians, intellectuals, artists, everyone really has attended those universities. Iran has the ability to target specific sites. It would open up a new escalation within the war.
CBS News Brief. I'm Stacey Lynn.
1 in 4 Americans have a disability. I'm one of them. I'm also a working mom who cares deeply about making sure every child with a disability thrives by getting their access needs met. We've got a trusted ally by our side. Easter Seals provides children and families the foundation for lifelong success through early learning programs, skills training, and prep for college and career. That's my Easter Seals. Make it yours. Join us at easterseals.com.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 8-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting offer, then head to abcmouse.com/radio to learn more. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
We're offering a promo at abcmouse.com/radio to try it for free for a month, then $14.99 per month until canceled. Go to abcmouse.com/radio to see this offer. That's abcmouse.com/radio. Actual ABC Mouse users compensated for their testimonials, sponsored by Age of Learning.
Julian Gray Associates has the most certified elder law attorneys of any law firm in the nation, right here in Pittsburgh. They also have experienced social workers so that you can prepare a plan to age with dignity that you can afford. Visit grayelderlaw.com.
The KDKA AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by JP Roofing and Siding, Pittsburgh's #1 Platinum Preferred Roofing Replacement Contractor. Call 412-829-7711.
Today brings a warmer second half of the weekend despite clouds much of the time. Look for a high of 60, then still cloudy for tonight, but not nearly as chilly with the low only dropping to 51. That sets up a warmer day for tomorrow with those clouds yielding a shower or two with a high of 65, then clouds and sun for Tuesday, but even warmer with a high 78. For AccuWeather, I'm LaTroy Thornton, 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
All right, we'll be back on Monday. Stay warm, get through the weekend, and I'll catch you on Monday. Lots to talk about. 2 to 6 right here, KDKA.
All right, sounds good, Colin. We'll be with you right after Colin tomorrow night. Lots of things planned this week, 6 to 10 with your Pratt Pack. And tomorrow night, former Congresswoman Melissa Hart will drop by and talk about the Great Divide and what's happening in our country. You know, you see the regulars at these protests. You heard Bernie Sanders, and I know actor Robert De Niro, who I have a lot of respect for. He, too, Reverend Al Sharpton. I mean, these people have been doing this since day one. And I know what they're trying to do, and I respect that, and they have every opportunity to do that. But I remember a time when our country, like World War II, was at war, and the Hollywood stars of that era were out doing one thing, helping raise awareness and getting war bonds to afford the war. Not a single taxpayer dollar was spent during World War II. It cost $8 billion, which is a drop in the bucket today, to win that war. And I know people can't compare the two because many of us obviously have no connection to it other than history or stories that were told by the greatest generation. You know, one of the things that Hollywood used to do is to make these movies that actually portrayed what it was like with the Vietnam War, what it was like with World War II, Saving Private Ryan, Platoon. I think people don't understand what is happening in America right now. And coming up later today, McKeesport, Whitehall American Legion, noon to 3, they're going to be holding a day to pay tribute to the Vietnam veterans. And I hope all of you who live in that area will take a little bit of time to drop by. And I've been promoting this for years, and I will always stand by the men and women of our military. But you see, when you look at the big divide in our country, one time we had people of celebrity helping support and stand by the flag, and now we have people pushing back. And it's because of a person in office, like him or not, and I always have to have that catchphrase in there, right, that disclaimer. But here's a guy who really is a patriot. Here's a guy that is worth billions of dollars. He did it through the old-fashioned way of rolling up your sleeves, going to work, entrepreneurial spirit. And there are some of you right now who want to call in and say he bankrupted 5 companies. Every major entrepreneur, corporation have bankrupted companies. They've gone through companies that have succeeded and failed. The idea is getting up off the canvas and keep trying to fight and to win another day. And all of these people, including the president, have had lots of people getting paychecks and working for them for years in which they're able to be, well, contributing members to society. But what has happened in America, if people don't like even how you comb your hair, they will protest and they will push back and they will get so fixated on it. And like Bernie Sanders talking about Minneapolis, we all know what happened in Minneapolis. It's a horrible thing. It's terrible. Nobody wants anybody's lives to be taken. But one of the reasons why our airport right now, Pittsburgh International, is running so smoothly, TSA agents need to get back to work. The president even said he will be signing paychecks. But ICE is right now there doing their job very peacefully, getting great reports, and it's regular business at the airport. So please, if you're going to say one thing, look at the other thing. And, you know, for these people, these stars, with all due respect, they have more money than you can I even fathom. They're not worried about paying the rent. They're not hoping that that last check to buy groceries doesn't bounce. They're not worried about an engine light in their car. They're not worried about anything because they have made millions on us. They've made millions on us. So all I'm saying to you is this country must find a way to come together. And stop the nonsense. Just stop the nonsense. He is going to be in the rearview mirror. He is going to be gone forever. We are never going to see Donald Trump again. Donald Trump will retire to Mar-a-Lago. He will make commercials. He will work his true social media. He will be on the after-dinner circuits as a speaker, making millions, jetting around the world in his own plane, cutting more deals, creating more wealth for his family that will never be spent in 5 generations. He will build a library, and then quietly one day, he will pass away. And what people will be talking about long after I'm here, maybe even the youngest generation out there right now in their 20s and teens listening. Even when you're not here, people will finally realize that this is the man who was the president of the United States, who at times made very difficult decisions that a lot of you don't understand or care about, but had to be made. Why? To make a difference in America. To give us a chance to actually take control of our country again. You know, instead of these politicians out protesting No King's Day, maybe you should be out trying to generate revenue and create jobs in America. Look, Bernie Sanders has done a lot for this country. There's no doubt. But there comes a time in all of our lives, you, me, everyone, when you've got to pass the torch. You've got to give somebody else an opportunity. It's time. And listen, I am a Democrat till the day I die. And if I hear one more person say, if you're really a Democrat, look, I talk all the time about things that Donald Trump does that are absolutely, as a president, ridiculous. And they're knucklehead moves, and I've said it. But anytime I can see a person that's out there trying to generate foundation, middle-class wealth in America, I can't argue with that. And when I know what Iran has been doing to us since I was a young man, started with the Ayatollah Khomeini in 1979, and it's never stopped, and you know that they have been bankrolling terrorism, and you know that their oil is helping Russia annihilate and murder Ukrainian people, and that madman, Vladimir Putin, who is now helping them, and we sit back and just simply say, okay, that's fine, but we want to have a no kings protest. Donald Trump may live like a king because of wealth that he has made, but he's not a king. Listen, you don't haul a king into court as many times as he has been into court. They have done so much to this man as far as deposition after deposition, allegation after allegation, and yes, indictment after indictment. To me, it's madness, and it has to stop. All right, Ray is here. Pedline, of course, from KDKA, First Alert Forecast. So, Ray, good to have you on KDKA. And I got to tell you, I'm hoping for about 65 today. Can you make it happen? Good morning.
Well, we'll get close to that. It'll feel like 65 compared to yesterday. Oh, man, that sunshine was so deceiving. But we're going to be seeing our temperatures make it into the low 60s today. We'll get not as much sunshine, but those clouds will be around. That'll actually help hold in some heat as the night continues into tomorrow. So just know a warming trend's on the way, but also a wetting trend that did not sound good as we have some rain turning on, especially for the middle and end of the week.
All right, so I got to ask you. So I've been around a long time, worked in that same building for 25 years. I've been doing this since 1984. I've seen a lot of meteorologists, been around people like Bob Kudzma, and I mean, to this day, still talking to all of you great folks down there with that First Alert. How in the world did you start these scientific experiments with your daughter? They must be, in my opinion, one of the most popular segments in all my years in Pittsburgh media. How did that all start?
Do you know what? I cannot believe how popular that became. I would have never imagined, but it started off as we wanted for the weekend morning news for kids to have a reason to be hanging out with their parents, like at the top of the hour to see an experiment. But I mean, this like the popularity of that's all ages. So it just took off. And then when I was working at home through COVID, my daughter jumped in on one, and she never jumped out.
Well, you know what's ironic? It reminds me of my Earth, Space, Science days, one of the very few subjects that I enjoyed in high school. So I really do enjoy it. But the thing that I've really taken away from it, today on my son's 27th birthday, I have a daughter who will be 25 in July, and I have a son 35 with 3 kids of his own. I've watched your young daughter turn into a young woman. Time stands still for no one, does it not?
I was telling somebody yesterday, I am in a time warp, and I do not like it.
No.
It just flies by, and you get warned as soon as you have that first kid. People say it flies by, and everybody shrugs it off, and then you turn into an old man like me, and your kid's grown up. So it happens fast.
One more thing, because I really do enjoy what you do. The quiz show, that's been around in one form or another since I was a young man, and I've often said that's one show that I would have never appeared on as a high school student. Boy, there's a lot of smart young people in this region, right?
It is amazing, these students and what they know. I get the answers, so I'm lucky in that regard. And I'll be going through a show, and I'll tell the executive producer, I'm like, I think these questions are too hard for high school, and then these kids nail it. I'm like, all right, I was wrong, but these kids are so smart.
Good.
Unbelievably smart.
What a great brand, KDKA Television. A lot of friends still there, and absolutely love what you do. As you go, give me that 5-day first alert forecast, then we'll let you go to work.
All right, here we go. We're going to be looking at temperatures today, low 60s, cloudy skies for the most part, a couple peaks of sunshine. Don't squander those peaks of sunshine this week because it's going to be more clouds than sun. Tomorrow and Tuesday, a stray shower possible, and then wetter conditions Wednesday, Thursday. Good Friday is going to be warm at 70, but with showers. Saturday, mid-70s with scattered showers, and near 70 on Easter Sunday, and that looks to come with some rain as well. So you'll need that waterproof babushka as your Easter bonnet this year.
All right. Hey, we always appreciate everything you guys do down there for us, but especially with this early wake-up call on Sunday. So have a great day, okay?
Hey, you too. It was great talking.
All right, there he goes, Ray. I must tell you, I love those segments with his daughter. And every time I just look at it, I think of my daughter and how fast they grow up. And it's like, I can't believe my son Robbie's 27 today. So happy birthday, my son. Much love from your father. All right, short break. We'll come back, and we'll wrap up the hour next, KDKA.
When the weather turns bad, turn to us for the best news, weather, and traffic information from the KDKA Radio Storm Center. Presented by Duquesne Light Company. Larger than light. And brought to you by Butler Transit Authority. Online and on the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA. News Radio. KDKA. Sports.
Sports brought to you by Coons Market, a Pittsburgh tradition with 8 locations to serve you. Another tough day for the Pirates in the Big Apple. They lose in 11, 4-2 the final. They wrap it up at Citi Field today. 1:40 first pitch, 93-7 the Fan. College postseason basketball action. Illinois over Iowa, 71-59. Arizona beat Purdue, 79-64. And today, first game, 2:15, tips off Tennessee, Michigan, and then Duke, UConn. Pens lose to Dallas, final 6-3. And through 3 rounds of the Houston Open, Gary Woodland had a third-round 65. He's at 18 under with a one-shot lead. And the Riverhounds, their season home opener at Highmark Stadium, they beat Jacksonville yesterday 3-2. More sports, 93.7thefan.com.
Larry Richard for Lachina Drapery and Blind Factory. Refresh your home with beautiful custom window treatments made in Lachina's Pittsburgh factory. No middlemen, just unbeatable factory direct prices. Save on blinds, shades, shutters, and more. Professionally measured and installed by Lachina. Call 412-665-4900 or go to lachinadrapery.com to schedule a free shop at home appointment or visit one of Lachina's 2 showrooms. Lachina Drapery and Blind Factory. The quality you deserve, prices you'll appreciate.
No use denying it. Old Man Winter's been hard on our homes. If it's drafty windows, overflowing gutters, rotted trim, or that dreaded leaking roof, PJ Fitzpatrick can take care of your home repair project before it turns into costly structural damage. Don't keep putting it off. This is the best time to call the repair experts at PJ Fitzpatrick. No job too big or too small. They'll fix it right the first time. Visit trustpj.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-948-7878. That's 800-948-7878.
Pittsburgh's 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
You know, just to kind of wrap up on this very passionate hour, you got to understand something. I just love America. And I know people like Bruce Springsteen, who popped up in in Minneapolis performing, yesterday. They love America too. But what I think is happening, we're putting a wedge. It's like that spike in a log. You're splitting the log. And in the end, you have 2 pieces that'll never be put back together again. Instead of making people have dialogue and communication and winning some and losing some and giving the other person the platform that they need to accomplish something as they would do the same for you. The country that I live in today, that I love and respect, and I will do the same when Donald Trump exits, and I'm hoping that Josh Shapiro is the winner in 2028. I make no bones about that because I think he will give us more of a a kinder, gentler nation, and I think he's got a tough interior, that his exterior, very intelligent and very, how can I say, precise with his manner and his decision-making, will send a calm across this country that we need. But he's a young man. I think he'll be innovative. I think he understands the business of the economy as far as generating more manufacturing jobs because of where he is in Pennsylvania, although that verdict is still out, and I want to see more of that in the gubernatorial race against Stacey Garrity, who I think's got the slight upper hand there. But I think he could actually be the person that brings the country together. I don't see it with Marco Rubio or J.D. Vance. I truly do not see it with J.D. Vance. I think he's too young. I think he's inexperienced. And I think some of his thoughts, like, talking about aliens being demons, could actually really do us a lot of harm. We need to lead into faith. We need to lead into family. And we need to lean into the thought process of what made America great the first time. And we don't have that in America right now. We don't. We don't have that in America right now. And very evident yesterday. And again, what I worry about are these stars, like a Bruce Springsteen, who's charging hundreds of dollars for his tickets, and rightfully so. He's a dynamic entertainer who sold his music library for $500 million. Rightfully so. He earned it. Nobody put more sweat equity into their life and career than Bruce Springsteen. And I'm a huge fan, and I listen to him daily. But it should be more about God bless America, America the beautiful, Lee Greenwood's God bless the USA, bringing us back together, talking about prayer, talking about family, talking about creating an opportunity for America to grow. And we're not doing that anymore. We're not doing that anymore. We just continue to divide America. And I don't want that to happen. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make people understand that you have to want to make America great where you live. It's not so much about the nation. It's about the world. It's about who we are as a nation. And as far as I'm concerned, right now, this nation is so divided. I mean, everybody should be talking about this war in Iran, and everybody should be flying their flag. Everybody should be saying a prayer for the military and the Iranian people. And I've had so many people try to thread the needle and sew things in a different direction, a different pattern, making us believe that the Iranian people don't want us there. We don't need this war. So what is it going to take for you to understand? A bomb being launched into the United States of America, killing you, your family, your neighbors, a missile exploding in your neighborhood, and you think it's far-fetched? They're launching missiles into Israel. They're killing people in Israel. Israel was invaded. It started that war that went on that the president was the peace broker of, and right now it's still holding pat. People don't like Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu because he, like President Trump, they say what they mean what they say, and they don't back down. And they don't try to cut deals when deals should not be cut with a terrorist. Look, you can say what you want about the Iranian regime. I don't even like to call it a government. But they're terrorists. That's what they are. They have kept the Iranian people down for over 50 years to where many of them are living in such poverty that they risked their life, and many lost their life because they protested about their way of life. I'm going to tell you right now, you could take the millions of people in Iran, and if you would say, I'll give you asylum in the United States, come here, live here, have an opportunity to enjoy what we have every day that sometimes people in this country have lost sight of. And that's a lot of, I believe, the folks that were in these protests yesterday. You've lost sight of what that office has done for you, what our Constitution has done for you, what our democracy has done for you. And you're saying he makes a mockery of it? Well, right now on the world stage, as we are a part of a global economy, like I told you earlier, nobody appreciates America or pays attention to America more now than ever because of this man walking softly and carrying a big stick. The Chinese government, even Vladimir Putin, who's doing these dastardly deeds, he will take President Trump's phone calls. People were laughing at Joe Biden. The same people that are singing, performing, protesting, that supported him. Do you understand? The man, a public servant, deserves all the props in the world, a president who I will always respect, but he did not demand the same respect that Donald Trump is getting right now. But I also think some of the narrative of President Trump is not good. This is getting back to what I said earlier. Give and take. Some days you're right. Some days I'm right. Some days you're wrong. Some days I'm wrong. That's why I don't think to carry this into the next generation with a J.D. Vance or a Marco Rubio and then carrying it another 4 years to possibly 8 years is not good. I think the Democrats have someone in Josh Shapiro, not Gavin Newsom. I don't see anyone else. I think the time for Josh Shapiro has arrived. He's come along at the right time. He has common sense, but he also can take a tough stand. And he will push back if you push in. That's what we need right now. We need an intellect. Donald Trump is a bull in a china shop, and America needs that right now. We need someone to flex muscles and to be strong. But just imagine, all of you that are saying this isn't going to work and it's wrong and it's terrible, it shouldn't happen. What happens if it does work? What happens if he's able to cut the head of the snake off, save the Iranian people, open up the oil global economy to a fair deal for everyone that benefits those people in Iran to where they can have an affordable lifestyle, and it also stops the flow of oil into Russia. And then quietly and suddenly, that war machine stalls out, and the war in Ukraine is over, and they begin rebuilding. And I know Vladimir Zelensky will not forget his friends in the United States, and he will be coming to us for material and ideas to rebuild the Ukraine. And Russia, they're going to have to rebuild everything. But I still believe in the good people of Russia, not Putin, not his henchmen, not him, but the people of Russia I believe in, and I think they're getting the short end of the stick. I think they need to have an opportunity to be able to not live but flourish. And imagine if this global economy, because of what could happen with oil, and so much of it comes from Iran, and it's still liquid gold, if it could actually start benefiting people around the world so they're not living in poverty. Places like North Korea, where they've been held under the thumb of Kim Jong-un way too long, that madman. And people from the Asian Pacific Partnership that we have with places like Vietnam and South Korea and even China, helping the billions of people there, helping those in Latin America who've been under the thumb of these drug cartels way too long, eradicating them. Now that Venezuela is on track, the oil from there mixed in with the oil in Iran. Can you imagine what could happen, how we could rewrite the history of the world? The only thing I'm sad about is that I'm at my age to where I'm not going to be able to see as we reach our 300th birthday, which I believe so much of this stuff could come to life, could come to fruition, and it'll benefit my grandchildren and great-grandchildren. Yeah, it's sad that I won't see it, but if I can start seeing some glimpses of it and start having people pay more attention to the flag as opposed to who's representing that flag in the nation's capital, putting their partnership as far as whatever they may be, the Republican or Democratic Party behind them until they have an opportunity to vote in a different way, and supporting the Constitution and the democracy as opposed to the person representing the flag, but look above all of it and see the red, white, and blue and what that flag stands for and the sacrifices that have been made, we could do some incredible things. I'm never going to give up. And I'm never going to say someone should not have a right to protest in this country. But I think, once again, one of my favorite things to say, you got to look at the big picture. And when you look at that big picture, what do you see? You see an America divided. And when you fast forward, it doesn't have a good ending. But if America can become, once again, the United States of America, fast forward 50 years, I see incredible things for our country and the world. And isn't that what we all want? Stay with us. Much more to come. News coming up next.
The Big K Morning Show with Larry Richards.
Pittsburgh Mayor Corey O'Connor, very atypical with the NFL draft and all the things that are going on.
We're all excited. You know, it's coming fast. But we also want Pittsburghers, and I say this wherever I go, this is also your city, this is your draft. We're going to have hundreds of thousands of people coming from across the country, but we want Pittsburghers to be ambassadors.
Weekday mornings 5:30 to 10 on the Voice of Pittsburgh, 100.1 FM and AM 1020. KDKA.
I'm with Joe Potocnik from JP Roofing and Siding, a platinum preferred contractor from Owens Corning. Joe, what does that mean?
It's an elite status. We earn that by using Owens Corning products to qualify for the platinum preferred warranty. That's a 50-year warranty on the materials and 25-year on the labor, 100%.
That's the upper 1% in America after 45 years, Joe. Congratulations.
Thank you, Larry.
Call JP Roofing and Siding, 412-829-7711.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. I've had the privilege of seeing miracles, broken families rebuilt, every crash, every workplace injury, every medical mistake. Fighting back can work. We've gone toe-to-toe with insurance giants, and we've won a lot. Over $30 billion recovered. Size matters. Reputation matters. Results matter. There's only one Morgan & Morgan.
Morgan & Morgan, 603 Stanwick Street, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania lawyer will handle Pennsylvania cases. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Listen to KDKA Radio on the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps.
KDKA and KDKA-FM HD2 Pittsburgh. W261AX Pittsburgh.
Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Aetna Medicare studios.
Proud to be the voice of Pittsburgh. 100.1 FM and AM 1020 KDKA.
It is 33 degrees at Pittsburgh International at 6 o'clock. I'm Rob Taylor. A man is dead following a shooting overnight on the south side. Pittsburgh police say 8 rounds were fired at South 18th Street and East Carson Street around 2:30 this morning. They found a man shot multiple times. He was transported to the hospital where he later died. No word on any suspect descriptions, no word on what led up to that shooting. SWAT situation in Pittsburgh ended peacefully Saturday. Police were called to the 300 block of Bousman Street in Knoxville around 6:30 Saturday evening. A man wanted on a warrant had barricaded himself inside a home. After about 2 hours, the man surrendered into police custody. No one was injured. Well, Pittsburgh Regional Transit employee had to be rescued after falling into a trench at the South Hills Junction garage. This happened Saturday morning around 9 o'clock. The adult male was pinned at the bottom of a narrow 12-foot deep concrete trench, which also was partially filled with oil. He was rescued by first responders using a rope and tripod to pull him up to safety. He was then decontaminated from the oil he was covered in and transported to the hospital. The man sustained arm and spinal injuries. He's in stable condition. Well, thousands of people took part in the No Kings protest on Saturday as part of a nationwide day of protest against President Donald Trump and his policies. Largest turnout in our area was in downtown Pittsburgh. Lieutenant Governor Austin Davis spoke at the event downtown.
Donald Trump has promised to lower costs for Americans on day one. We've seen costs increase. He has created chaos and confusion in our country through the deployment of ICE. And every day he considers to continually erodes our democratic values.
Audio courtesy of KDKA TV. Protests also held in Greensburg, Mount Lebanon, Uniontown, and other locations. It was the third